What's going on, fellas? It's your man Stephen Bardo coming at you with another live show here on Next Chapter Forward. I hope you guys are doing well this afternoon. Doing great, even though I look like Mitch Green about the eye. You see my left eye right here. Got this nasty sty. I normally get these, kind of picked it up from my dad. We get these on a regular basis, but I don't know that I've had one this big and this stubborn. You guys remember Mitch Green? He was a boxer, professional boxer, and he ran into Mike Tyson out in the street and was talking stuff to him. And I can't remember the comedian that did a skit on it, but he was talking about Mitch Green was in an interview, and Mitch Green was saying one thing and his eye was saying something else. So yeah, I'm battling through injury over here, fellas. So hope you guys doing well. Welcome to Next Chapter Forward. We're gonna get into a little bit of relocation talk, but we're going to talk about avoiding countries who are being adversely affected by what's going on in the Middle East. Okay. Countries that are really heavily dependent on importing their fuel, their natural gas, their oil. These countries that looked attractive now don't look as attractive based on what's going on. So we'll get into that here right now. First off, want to say hello again. Want you guys to go and get your global scouting report. It's in my bio on the YouTube channel, but here's the link down below. I want you to get your global scouting report if you haven't done so already. It's 8 questions. It takes 2 minutes, and it gives you a score of your readiness to relocate. So do that. Or if you guys want to type free throw 15 into the comments, free throw 15, I will send you a link that will sign you up for a free 15-minute call with yours truly. We can go over your situation. I can give you a game plan to utilize moving forward. Okay. All right. Let me pull up my presentation here. I'm gonna make myself smaller. Take this banner off, and then we'll kick it off. Okay. So what we have here is a PowerPoint, and what I want to show you guys is basically what I'm talking about. Okay, so right here you see the Strait of Hormuz is closed. Now, y'all know me. I'm a little bit out there. I have out there thoughts and things like that. They keep quoting. Everybody quotes 20% of the global oil is blocked. Now, guys, if 20% is blocked, that means 80% of the world's oil is not blocked. But the fact that 20% is blocked is having a global shock effect. And I mean quickly. It didn't take that long, guys. Okay. So I believe that there's a little bit more of the world's oil, natural gas, they quoted 35% of the world's fertilizer comes out of there. That's why they believe there'll be food shortages coming up soon. The media quotes this 20% of global oil block. I think it's more than that. Okay. 3 countries survived the cut, and we have 6 scouting categories that we're going to go through that will back up why I'm saying what I'm saying. Okay. So pick your country wisely. You see the global shock changes everything. Colombia, Brazil, and Panama on the green, but Thailand's in the red, and we're going to get to that, because Thailand's one of our favorite countries that we like to talk about, but may be affected adversely in this situation. Okay. Now, we keep hearing about the Straits of Hormuz, but we're not talking about the Red Sea. You don't see the media talking a lot about the Red Sea, but that's another route on the west side of Saudi Arabia, where their energy transportation takes place on that side as well. But the Houthis in Yemen are firing on that strait as well. And so the waterways around Saudi Arabia really account for probably half the world's energy supply. And neither one of them are moving right now unless you're a Chinese oil tanker. Everybody else, you have to pay. This is how gangster Iran has become in this scenario. Iran knew from a war tactics perspective, fellas, that they can't go head to head with the United States, but they can affect the world's health, the world's oil supply, natural gas supply. They can also hit these Middle East countries that are their neighbors. They can hit their infrastructure. They can hit their Amazon services. They can hit radar systems. But now they've also started hitting financial institutions. So you've seen HSBC close all of their branches in the Middle East. There's another large bank that closed all but one of their branches in the Middle East. So what Iran is doing, along with their partners, is really strategic. And so there's a double blockade going on. Strait of Hormuz, Red Sea are blocked. Asia gets maximum pain. That means Thailand, Vietnam, South Korea, Japan, Malaysia, the Philippines, right? The Philippines, Malaysia, Thailand, and Vietnam are number one on a lot of people's relocation lists, right? But they're getting maximum pain right now. Guys, a barrel of gas goes over $100. That means it doubles in terms of a gallon price per gallon. Okay. So it's rumored that barrels of oil could eventually go to $150 to $200 a barrel, guys. That's going to cripple the economy. Okay. All right. And the Western Hemisphere is somewhat insulated, especially these Latin American countries that we're going to talk to, because they do certain things that insulate them from what's going on in the Middle East. Okay. All right. So we talked about 20% of the oil being blocked, 20% of the world's oil supply being blocked, 20% of the natural gas being blocked, 1/3 of the fertilizer. Guys, 1/3 of the world's fertilizer comes from this area. So if 1/3 of that is cut off, the planting season is now. The large planting season, especially in North America, South America, is in the month of March. And the fact that some of these countries in Europe and Asia, I believe, also their planting seasons are similar. So the block of this fertilizer coming out is going to create food shortages around the world within the next 6, 9 to 12 months. You got over 150 tankers that are stranded. They can't move. They can't go back to the port where they got the raw materials, and they can't come through the Strait of Hormuz or the Red Sea. So you've got a lot of tankers that are stalled out in these waterways. Okay. And so it's really a major problem. All right. Here's what we're looking at, guys. This is film session. This is how I break down basketball, similarly to how I break down relocation opportunities. All right. First off, does the country produce its own crude, or is it dependent on the Middle East tankers that are now stuck? That's the first thing. Oil and energy independence. Number 2, redefining self-sufficiency. Producing crude isn't enough. Can they refine it into gasoline? Mexico proves this gap can bite. Okay. We're going to talk about Mexico in a minute. Number 2 is refining self-sufficiency. Number 3 is food security. Does the country grow its own food? 1/3 of global fertilizing trade just froze. So number 3, food security. Number 4, war involvement. Is this country a target, an ally to a combatant, or completely out of the conflict? Right? Number 4, war involvement. Number 5, U.S. relationship risk. Tariffs, political pressure, and economic corrosion are real. How is Washington treating this particular country? Number 5, U.S. relationship risk. And the last one, inflation exposure. When oil spikes, everything spikes. How insulated is this particular country and their cost of living with these global shocks? Okay. So guys, this is our film session right here. 1, oil and energy independence. 2, redefining self-sufficiency. 3, food security. 4, war involvement. 5, U.S. relationship risk. 6, inflation exposure. Okay. Now, I'm going to highlight Brazil because this is our top tier pick. Okay. Our number 1 pick is Colombia, but I'm going to break down Brazil for you. Okay. Brazil is the only country on this list that is actually financially stronger because of the Hormuz crisis. They're a net energy exporter at 4 billion gallons of gasoline, of oil per day. You heard that right. Brazil exports 4 million barrels of crude oil per day. Okay. And they are the home of the largest black diaspora outside of Africa. So this is a big time country in terms of insulating itself from the Middle East situation. We talked about its oil and energy independence. Now, refining self-sufficiency. They're also a net food exporter, is Brazil. Okay. So from refining self-sufficiency and food security, they're very strong. U.S. relationship risk. It's fairly clean, guys. They have a decent relationship, does Brazil, with the United States, especially with the former Prime Minister Bolsonaro. He was a right-wing friend of Donald Trump. But now the president that is in place now, and I can't remember his name, he's much more of a moderate. He might even be considered a liberal. But there have been no war chats or war rhetoric between the United States and Brazil. So they're fairly safe in that regard. Brazil has not been involved in any skirmishes or wars with different countries. So they're clean there. And their inflation exposure is low to moderate based on them being a net exporter of oil, a net exporter of food. Okay. So if you guys have not been thinking about Brazil as a destination for relocation, you should really start thinking so. Now, guys, I started thinking about Brazil because a good friend of mine, Kareem, who is one of the brothers in our group, love the brother to death. He's moving to Brazil. And it was funny. He and my son Landon and me were out to dinner last week. And he said, you know, man, I'm gonna miss your dad. I said, no, you're not. I said, because I'm coming to visit. You ain't gonna miss me, bro, because I'm coming to check you out. Okay. So I want you guys, I don't know that we've talked a lot about Brazil on this channel a lot, but it was already an attractive destination. But with what's going on, it makes it even more so. Because guys, with next chapter forward, I'm not a point guard that's gonna set you guys up to just score. I'm trying to have you guys win. And when I hit the floor as a point guard in every stage of my career, I won a championship or I played in a championship round. Okay. I don't play just to play. I play to win. And I'm trying to set you guys up to give you the information, the tools, and the knowledge to make the best case scenario for you and your family if you are leading your family to relocation. So Brazil, guys, even with the Portuguese language barrier, even with all of that, it's still a top destination that you need to consider. Okay. All right. Now, let me see if I can make this bigger for you guys. Cause this oh yeah, that's showing up pretty good. Okay. So pick your country wisely, head-to-head scouting report. Okay. Let's go over the energy and oil. Look at Colombia. Colombia is the first pick, guys. I broke down Brazil because we haven't talked a lot about Brazil, but I wanted to give you why it's so high on this list. But Colombia is number one on this list. They, like Brazil, export their own crude. Okay. So they've got oil and energy that they export, that they create. We already talked about Brazil. That's the number 2 pick. Number 3 pick is Panama. Okay. They have minor imports. Okay. So they do import, but with the Panama Canal, they have access to so much trade. And that Panama Canal generates so much income for the country of Panama. Okay. So that's number 3 on the list. Number 4 on the list is Mexico. All right. Now, crude, yes, but Mexico doesn't have the refining capabilities that other countries have in order to turn their crude into utilizing their own gasoline. So Mexico is a second tier choice. It's right up under Colombia, Brazil, and Panama. But for the energy and oil, this is why it's in the second tier. avoid Thailand because they get, I think Thailand gets 85 to 90% of their natural gas and oil from the Middle East. So avoid it. Okay. Number two, refining. Colombia can refine their own crude. They're strong. Brazil, same thing. Panama is moderate. Okay. Look at Mexico. Only 28 to 40% of their crude that they can refine. I didn't know that they could even refine any of it, but only 28 to 40% of their crude that they can refine on their own. I know that with Claudia Sheinbaum as the new president of Mexico and her kind of forward economic thinking, I'm sure that number is going to rise because Mexico's doing a tremendous job of reinvesting their wealth into their infrastructure, into their business development, into their energy self-sufficiency. Mexico is going to be a powerhouse, guys. This is a top 10 economy, and it's going to be a top 5 one in the next 10 years. And then Thailand, it's import heavy. It's dependent. They're not independent. Food security. Colombia, same as Brazil, very strong. They're net exporters in food. Coffee, cocoa, coca, used to be cocaine for Colombia. But they're big in coffee. They've got certain fruits and vegetables. I think mangoes and some other things. But Colombia's a good, they're a net food exporter, as is Brazil. Panama is moderate. Panama grows some of their own food, but they import some of it as well. Mexico, very strong here. With a very healthy food harvesting and exporting capabilities in Mexico, very strong. Thailand, again, vulnerable. War involvement. Colombia, although the Colombian president and Donald Trump were sending barbs back and forth, Colombia has not been involved in anything other than their civil war situation with the drug trade and whatnot. But Colombia has been clean in terms of war involvement. Brazil, same thing. Panama doesn't have a standing military, so they can't get involved. So they have no military, so no war involvement there. Mexico has done a fantastic job as a rising, emerging market, but Mexico doesn't fool in anybody's affairs. They try to stay out of the way of the United States as best they can. So they're very strong there. And Thailand has had some skirmishes with bordering Cambodia, but thank goodness it hasn't spilled over in other parts of Southeast Asia. But Thailand, for the most part, really no direct involvement, war involvement. So they're clean there. U.S. relationship right now with Colombia, it's clean. Brazil, same thing. Panama, same thing. Mexico is complicated, with the U.S. sending in support to take out the cartel leader that resulted in some minor things happening here in Mexico. But Mexico's relationship with the United States is complicated. For example, the United States just makes a decision to change the name of Gulf of Mexico to Gulf of America. And guys, do you know that airlines go with this? Airlines will say this is the Gulf of America, which is asinine to me, but whatever. So it's complicated, right? And then Thailand has been neutral. Inflation risk. With Colombia, it's low cost of living. And their inflation risk based on their energy self-sufficiency as well as their food self-sufficiency makes their inflation risk low. Brazil is low to moderate. Panama is moderate. Mexico is moderate. Thailand is high based on their ability or their inability to create their own thing. Okay. All right. Guys, if you're just tuning in, welcome to Next Chapter Forward. I'm your man, point guard Stephen Bardo, here to help you. Guys, go get your global scouting report. Okay. 8 questions, 2 minutes. And at the end, you get a readiness score of your readiness to relocate. Sorry for the redundancy. All right. Or you can do this. You can type Frito15 in the comments. I'll send you a link and you can sign up for a free 15-minute call with yours truly. Okay. I love those calls, guys. I love getting on the calls with you guys to figure out your scenario. What I do is I take notes and then I give you a summary of what we talked about and what I think you should do moving forward. So if you're interested in that, it's a free 15-minute call. Type in free throw 15 in the comments. Okay. All right. Let's get back to the presentation. So this is our scouting report here, guys. All right. So here's a little bit about me. Point guard, 25-year broadcaster, former NBA player. I will help you relocate through next chapter forward. Okay. So guys, the Strait of Hormuz is effectively closed. So what we're looking at, and Brazil and Colombia are our top tier picks. Brazil, Colombia, and Panama. Okay. All right. Let me close this out and see if you guys have any questions. All right. So yeah, fellas, that's why I wanted to go over this with you. And I also want to go over, I'm going to give some additional information that I want you guys to really, really consider strongly. Okay. Call me crazy, call me conspiracy theorist, but in 2026, you know what the difference between a conspiracy theory is and the truth? About 6 to 9 months. That's the difference. Okay. So if you didn't hear anything in this, and if you're tuning into this broadcast on the replay, heed this warning. Guys, you need 3 to 6 months of food, non-perishable foods. So canned goods, beans, rice, things that will store, potatoes. If you guys can your own food, do that. You need 3 to 6 months worth. Let's go 3 months worth of food. Okay. Because we've been hearing about these false flag events. We know that blue country in West Asia likes to throw up false flag events and blame it on someone else. Iran has already mentioned this, that they've seen reports of possible false flag events in the United States where the U.S. government and that other country will blame Iran for those attacks. So guys, this is coming. Okay. So get your 30 days worth of food, get 30 to 60 days worth of money. Do not keep it in the bank, guys. You can keep some in the banks, but when they shut down, when the power grid goes down, or we have some sort of situation where martial law will be in effect, banks may not let you withdraw your money. So you need to keep at least 3 to 6 months of it in cash on hand. Or if you've invested in silver and gold, have that on hand. But guys, this is not a drill. This is not a joke. It's not if, it's when. Stuff's gonna jump off at the crib. Trust me on that. Okay. So you need some money, you need some food, you need to know how you're going to be in touch with your family members. Guys, I'm gonna type this. I just came across this today, and I had my family download this. Let me pull this up because I put it in the family. Okay. Can you see this? It's backwards. It's going to be backwards to you. All right. Let me type this in. It's called Bertie. Okay. Bertie will allow you guys. Where are my banners? Bertie will allow you guys to communicate with family members and loved ones without the internet. Okay. Bertie Messenger is what it's called. And I'm putting it in the chat here. Get for your family. Excuse me. And guys, it's both iOS and Android. Okay. So here it is. Let me show it to you. Bertie, B-E-R-T-Y Messenger. Get it for your family. Okay. This will allow you that if the grid goes down or the internet is out or something like that, if you've downloaded this now, you need Wi-Fi to download it. Download it now. Get your friends to download it. Get your family to download it. You have a way to communicate when stuff starts happening. Okay, so you've got a messaging app that works without Wi-Fi. Okay, that's private, that's encrypted. You got your food, you've got your money. Now, fourth, you need a plan with your family. Where is the rendezvous point? Are you going to meet at someone's house? Are you going to meet and then you're going to travel to where your family has property, kind of like what my family does? So if I was still in the United States in Chicago and my two sons were in the States, which they're not, but if they were, I would instruct them and their cousins and my brother and sister to make our way to our family property in Illinois. Okay. I want you all to develop your own system. What's that going to look like? Is there one place that is a little bit bigger that can house multiple family members and you all not just be on top of each other and getting on each other's nerves? You got to think about this, guys, because you think that the result that you're going to get is the result that you prepare for, right? If you're not rich, you haven't prepared to be rich. You haven't made the choices and the decisions to become rich. If you're not in shape, that means you haven't done the things that you're supposed to do to be in shape. If you want to have a fail-proof plan when shit hits the fan, you've got to practice it. You got to go through it with your family. I don't give a damn if they don't like it. It doesn't matter because you're going to be the smart one in the end. Guys, don't think the stuff is just going to roll the same that it's been rolling for the last 50 years. We haven't had any conflicts on our soil since 9/11. And before that, it might have been since Pearl Harbor. So guys, this is not normally how the world operates. The world is usually in conflict at some point, some way, shape, or form. In the United States, we have been spoiled that nothing has happened on our soil. Guys, I just don't think that that's going to last. Now, I hope that it lasts. I always hope that I'm wrong when I say these things, but I'm rarely wrong. Rarely am I wrong. I said this on TikTok back in December, and that video has 85,000 views because I warned that at some point, guys, we're not going to be able to move around freely like we do now. Look what's happening in the airports in the United States right now. Do you see the delays? Now, I had a dear family member who traveled down here that got to the airport, guys. He got to a major U.S. airport 4.5 hours before his flight. And he didn't make his flight. He had to get on the next one. So when I said that U.S. citizens are not going to be able to move around freely like we're accustomed to doing, this is the start of it. And this is intentional, guys. This is intentional. Okay? So tell your family members, yeah, that crazy point guard that I listened to, the dude that helps black men over 50 relocate out of the United States, yeah, he was saying these things and we need to do these things. So blame it on me. I'll take the heat. I don't care because I'm trying to liberate black people, black men. I'm trying to liberate us. Okay? Guys, again, I could have come down to Mexico with my money and been picking my pubic hairs and chasing women and drinking and doing whatever the hell I want to do. But I'm putting myself out here on a public forum saying things that could probably bring a little bit of heat to me. But I'm okay with that because I'm passionate about helping black men and black people get to where we need to get to. So this shit is serious. And I'm trying to be serious here because I want you to understand that shit ain't sweet moving forward, guys. It's not. So we have to prepare so that we don't get in a situation. How foolish would this look? If you've got your money together, you're 58, 59, 62, you're a black man, right? You're single, and you've done all this work And you've done all this work for another corporation, for the man. You've taken all this crap, all these microaggressions, all this overt racism, and you've finally gotten to the point where you've done the right thing on the money side, but you haven't prepared for when it's going to rain. Guys, it's going to rain. The sun is not going to shine for the next 6 to 9 months, guys. It's going to be some thunderstorms. It's going to be some hurricanes. It's going to be some tornadoes, and it's not going to be the weather. Okay, we're entering into some tough times. I'm not even talking about the financial reset that most of y'all don't even know is coming. That's a whole nother. I've talked about that in other lives. I'm not going to get into that now. I'm in prepper mode right now. You guys know what a prepper is? Preppers prepare for when the storm hits, and then they can protect their family. So in that scenario, if you're a 62-year-old brother, you got your pension getting ready to come in, you've done great on your money, you've got your savings, and all of a sudden, something happens in the United States and we go into martial law. Do you think your investments and your money will take care of you when you can't access it? When your credit cards don't work? And you got all your money in your investments in, let's say, your Charles Schwab or your Fidelity account, but now you can't access it. You didn't put 3 months of money away. You didn't keep it in your safe in your house. You didn't have your silver coins that could be exchanged for goods and services when stuff is awry, when life is shifted, when there's an event on U.S. soil, or heaven forbid, things get attacked on U.S. soil. Heaven forbid. I'm not wishing that, but that's a possibility, guys. We're at war. Okay. And I also want to let you know that this is World War III. We're in it. We don't need anybody to give you, we don't need to wait for the media to say, oh, this is World War III. Guys, we're in World War III. What constitutes a world war? Well, China surrounding Taiwan with warships, because to me, I think they're going to blockade Taiwan and take it over. Okay. Russia and Ukraine are still going, guys. That war didn't stop. That's another situation, right? I mentioned earlier that Thailand and Cambodia were shooting rockets at each other. That's a skirmish. Africa, my man, Ibrahim Traore, right? And Burkina Faso, they're getting attacked on a weekly basis because France is trying to get that brother up out of there because he kicked France out. Okay. There are U.S. troops on the ground in Nigeria. Did you guys know that? There are U.S. troops on the ground in Nigeria. Okay. There are U.S. troops on the ground in Ecuador. Did you guys know that? Oh, okay. Didn't U.S. Kidnapped the Venezuelan president, didn't he? Didn't the U.S. kidnap the Venezuelan president? And now Cuba's in a total blackout, right? Does that not sound like a world war to you? In the Western Hemisphere, there's activity going on. In the Middle East, there's activity going on. In the Eastern Hemisphere, there's activity going on. Guys, we're in World War III. Okay, let me be the first to announce to you, this is World War III. So act like it. This is it. We're in wartime, so you got to move different. Okay, all right. I'm off the soapbox. Let me get to your comments here. Peyton Fit, what's up, bro? As soon to be 72, is it too late for me to relocate? Of course not. Peyton Fit. Bro, you're 72 years old. It's never too late to relocate. I got a guy here. I wish I could turn my camera around. There's a guy that sits up on his deck that's across the street from me where I live. I'm looking at him right now. And he comes out, he sits in his chair, he enjoys, I don't know what brand of cigarettes he smokes, but he enjoys his cigarettes. He sits out and he sunbathes, right? And he's way older than 72. So Peyton Fit, No, it's never too late to relocate. If you want to have a different experience in your life, if the United States is not giving you what you want in life, and you've been in the United States all your 72 years, I'm giving you permission, Peyton Fit. You can relocate. And I guarantee you, you will, if you pick wisely for your budget, your desired lifestyle, whether you have pre-existing health conditions or not, and whether you are you solo or do you have a family? Do you want to be integrated into the local community? Do you want to learn a new language? All of these things I can help you go through and figure out and give you 2 to 3 countries that you can target so that you can start to go more in depth with your research. If that sounds good to you, Peyton Fit, type free throw 15 in the comments. I'll send you a link. We can get on a free 15-minute phone call and we can go through all that. But by no means, sir, are you too old to relocate. Matter of fact, you probably will resurrect yourself if you relocate to the place that you really want to be. Okay? I challenge you on that, Peyton Fit, and I hope to hear from you. And I can, if you are what your avatar is, and you're not a black man over 50, I still got you. You're tuning in. I still got you. So type free throw 15 if that interests you. Okay. All right. OG got it. 300. Thank you for tuning in. The truth shall set you free. He says in 26 till infinity. No cap. Okay. OG got it. 300. I love that. I love that. That's dope. Go thrive abroad. What's going? Is that? I think that's my man Frank. Is that my man Frank? If that's Frank, what's up, brother? Good to see you. Frank is a. Let me not put Frank out there too much. Frank's in our group. Great brother. Love him like I love all the other cats in our group. Just a solid brother, man, and funny. Just one of the guys in our group that I really look forward to seeing every week. Yeah, man. So guys, take heed of this. You're welcome, Peyton Fit. I'm glad you needed to hear this because I want you to get motivated, partner. I want you to live your best life. Okay. Now, again, people that watch Next Chapter Forward, my market is black men over 50. I'll help anybody that wants to relocate. Peyton Fit, that's for you. That's for anybody else that's not over 50 and black men. If you are serious about relocating, I'll help you. I'm trying to help everybody live their best lives. If the United States suits you and it's giving you everything that you need, then by all means, man, live your life to the fullest. Take advantage of what the United States has because it's still a great country. We can sit here and focus on all the negative stuff and all that, but it gave me the opportunity to make the money that allows me to do what I'm doing right now. It's given my youngest son the opportunity to go into the field of his dreams. It gives my oldest son the opportunity to go into the field of his dreams. I'm not sure that these opportunities would be in other countries around the world. There would be in some, but obviously not all. Okay. So the United States affords us opportunities in a type of lifestyle that is high level around the world. Now, we pay for it. We definitely pay for it. But I'm not here to shit on the United States. That's not what I'm doing. I'm simply here to offer a service to help people that if they have become frustrated with living in the United States, like I was frustrated there for a number of reasons. One of them being that I got removed off of a flight on my way to work. I've flown internationally for 39 years. I've never had a problem with a flight attendant. But this particular day, this racist flight attendant, he decided that I was going to catch it, and I did. And so I got removed off that flight. That day, I mentally left the United States. That was January 8th, 2025. I still had the rest of my college basketball season to finish. But about 3 days after I finished my season, I came down here and I haven't looked back since. Only time I've come back home is to visit family and to sell my house and my belongings. And I've been in Mexico ever since. And you know what, guys? It's the best decision I've ever made. For guys, you're looking at Mr. Basketball. My dad played college basketball. My older brother and older sister played college basketball. I was on one of the best college basketball teams in college basketball history, the Flying Illini from the University of Illinois, Final Four. Okay. I played 10 years of professional basketball. I played in the NBA. I had coffee breaks with Dallas, Detroit, and San Antonio. I played in Italy, Spain, France, Germany, Venezuela. And I'm missing them. Italy, Spain, France, Germany, Venezuela, and Japan overseas. Okay. I had a 25-year career in college basketball and NBA broadcasting. I am Mr. Basketball. Guys, I'm looking at March Madness, which I would be working in right now, and really excited and tired because it's the end of the year. You just get worn down from the grueling schedule. Man, listen, I'm supposed to, and I've got another YouTube channel that talks basketball. It's called Bartle's Breakdown. I haven't felt like doing much, guys, and I don't do it. Now, I love watching the games. I should be continue to build that YouTube channel, but the U.S. wore me out. The racism wore me out. The microaggressions wore me out. The cost of living wore me out. The lack of quality health care, the lack of quality food. Our water is not clean anymore. Our air is poisoned on a daily basis with chemtrails. All of this stuff wore me out. I needed to change. If you feel like that, if any of this resonates with you, type free throw 15 in the comments, or let me put this back up. You can go to this link. It's basically Linktree/Stephen Bardo. And you'll have access to everything that I offer within Next Chapter Forward. I would suggest go get your global scouting report that puts you on the email list, and that will allow you to get a call moving forward. Or if you just want to go right for the call, you don't want to get your relocation score, which I suggest to people. But if you don't want to do that, you want to go just for the 15-minute free phone call, you can do that right there. There's a link in this same link you can do for the free 15-minute phone call as well. But you can type free throw 15 in the comments. So if you're on the replay, if you're not watching this live, type free throw 15 in the comments if you want to go 15 minutes with yours truly. Okay, guys. I think I got to everyone's comments and concerns. Hopefully next week, the Mitch Green look will go away. I've been aggressively putting warm and hot water compresses on it. I'm putting some stuff on it. I'm trying, y'all. I know I look crazy. It's irritating, but I'm in paradise, so it really doesn't matter. Okay? All right. I hope you guys have a great rest of your week. If you have any questions, put them in the comments because I come back and check these, and I'll come back and answer them later. I really look forward to talking to some of you guys one-on-one because I think that I can really help you figure out where your best next chapter looks like. Okay? Guys, have a great rest of your week. And until next time, holla, y'all.